So you're probably hearing lots of articles about how UNLV is going to join the pack. When is it going to happen, or why hasn't it happened? I'm going to explain to you in a few minutes why it's unlikely to happen. Right now, when rumors were starting about a pack resurgence and starting last March, the consensus was it was either going to be Boise, San Diego, and Fresno State, with UNLV being the fourth team for reasons that the media gives. Their location. It's not because of any fan support they have. Their brand. They last won a basketball tournament title with Jerry Tarkanian years and years ago, before a lot of people were born now. But as a whole, there's nothing remarkable about their football success, certainly. Now, UNLV was thought to be the fourth team, but it wasn't a huge shock that it was Colorado State instead, for the reasons that I am mentioning right now. But there's also another reason. They, unlike the four teams that are joining the pack and Utah State, are perfectly fine where they are. They don't want to leave the Mountain West. They just signed a grant of rights deal locking them into the next TV contracts. So that shows the mindset of the president and other leading university officials, as opposed to the teams who jumped in the pack and are willing to take that risk. You want to have teams that are on the same wavelength when you want to build a conference. UNLV simply isn't that. They took the easy money that Gloria Navarro's offered them, and they're going to stay in a conference with UC Davis and Grand Canyon University and a lot of other schools that don't have a football program up to the standard that you would want. Now, take that with Utah State, who was not one of the four schools that were invited, but said, we got to get out of this conference and we got to go to the pack. Even their governor of the state of Utah, which is an Aggie, got involved. And they said, we want out, we want in the pack. And that is the same mindset of all the other four schools that left. So there's no real camaraderie there with UNLV. And they really don't add any value. Right? Word on the street is that the media consultant that the original two pack schools hired to help them decide who they will get from the Mountain West and why had UNLV in the bottom two with San Jose State. They don't have fan support. They don't have a long history of athletic success, which I keep mentioning. And bottom line is, you don't need UNLV to get into Vegas, as I mentioned earlier. You don't need the Rebels to get into Las Vegas. And they don't add anything. Understand this. Vegas does not care about the Rebels. All right? And they're not going to care. It's going to get worse for them. All right? They have two professional teams, hockey and NFL, Raiders and Knights. When the NBA expands again, they're going to get a professional basketball team. And in a few years, the A's are scheduled to be in Las Vegas, although Las Vegas doesn't want a John Fisher-led team for good reason. And it's very rare to see a professional market like that have a successful college team. There are individual cases like maybe USC football, Miami Hurricane, and so forth. But even that is the exception. And the Las Vegas metro area isn't that big. It's not big enough to support all that. So what good is a market if nobody cares? I've seen people add Rice as an example, okay, Rice is in Houston, but so what? Does Houston care about Rice? Are you adding anything if you add Rice? Are you adding viewership? Are you adding any of that? You're not. Same thing with San Jose State. They're in the Bay Area. So what? Nobody cares about them. The same applies to the Rebels. They just don't add anything when you look at it. And the mindset of the administration of that university is different than the mindset of the teams leaving for the pack. Those teams want to be part of something good. They want to be part of something that can be built into a power conference. UNLV, on the other hand, signed a grant rights deal with UC Davis, Grand Canyon University, and the most notable football program of the Mountain West starting in 2026 is going to be Northern Illinois. I know people are going to say, oh, look at how they've done the last 2 years. This is considered a golden age, and they've not won a conference title in football. All right? And when you watch them host the likes of UTEP, San Jose State, etc., nobody's going to be there. Maybe Hawaii because there are a bunch of Hawaiians in Las Vegas, but that's about it. You know? I mean, they want to stay in a conference of teams with high school stadiums, have stadiums, and just communities that don't care. What does that say about their mindset? Why would you want a school like that? If they were in Vegas, if I would take everything I just told you and put them in some random place, you would say, you don't want that team. So I understand that people are going to say, oh, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You're just a random fan. You're not plugged in and so forth. Look, I'm just telling you what I've heard and what I've known as being in a conference with UNLV for over a decade. All right? And any Federal State fan will tell you the same. So hopefully you understand why they're not in there. And hopefully in another video I'll explain why teams you want a Texas State, a Memphis, Tulane, as opposed to what other options are being thrown out. But for now, when UNLV is not in the part of the pack, this is going to be why. All right, later.